July of 1987, the company was founded here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We recruited Mario in to join our company as one of our branches to serve the Muskegon community. He has grown to 5 locations, serving people up and down the lake shore.
A lot of companies, they're sometimes in it more for themselves and closing that deal for just their monetary reward. And I think with Mario and his company, it's not just that, and I don't know if that always happens in our world.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the VanDyk Mortgage Power Hour. I'm Scott DeCamp, co-host along with trusty partner Mike Taylor. Here's Mike, everybody.
Fire up, folks, fire up.
We have some special guests on here tonight, thank God, because I don't know if I could take Mike the whole evening, but we have Whitehall Wrestling, ranked number 5th in the state in Division II, a state runner-up last year. We have co-head coaches Justin Zeerip and Colin Zeerip. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys.
They are related. They are related.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, looking forward to chatting it up.
And then we also have several of the standout wrestlers for the Whitehall team. So thanks to those guys for coming in. But before we get rolling, I want to thank our sponsors. We're going to start with VanDyk Mortgage. We appreciate their generosity and everything they do to support CatchMark SportsNet, and as well as North Grove Brewers for being another generous sponsor for hosting this show and supporting us. Additionally, Shepherd & Shepherd. They are also great sponsors for us. So without further ado, let's get into this, Mike.
Absolutely. We talk about a family that's had success in wrestling. Give us the background, Justin, if you can, on wrestling in your life when it started and how it started with you. Again, tell us about your father's wrestling career. Let's start there.
Yeah, so my father, he wrestled at Fremont High School, right up the road, and he wrestled at Ohio State University, and then he came back to Fremont, coached a couple years, and he started coaching at Asperia. So, he's been coaching wrestling my whole life, so I kind of grew up around it. I started wrestling when I was 8 years old, and just kind of have been doing it ever since. Obviously it's a big thing in our family. We really love the sport. We think it teaches a lot of great life lessons in general, and we're really competitive people as well. So it's just a good way to fuel that competitive fire, but it's also just a great sport just to teach you discipline and things like that. So it's been it's a great part of my life.
The two most physical sports or days in the that probably have ever existed are, I would say, one when you see a Super Bowl game played, because those guys are playing pretty physical.
Yeah.
I would say the second most physical day of the year is anytime the Zeerip family has a family reunion.
That's right.
It gets pretty interesting. But, when you talk about wrestling with you and your family, how old were you when you took the mat to start with, both of you?
Yeah, I started, so at the same time when Justin and Brandon started when he was 8, I started when I was 4, so since I can really remember, and just kind of something the older brothers have always did, and just kind of tagged along with them.
Yeah, same thing. I think my dad, he kind of wanted to, my parents, they wanted to start us a little bit later, or myself, and then I think because he knew once I started, my other two, Colin and Brandon were going to start as well. So I think he kind of wanted to start us late, but also, once we started, we kind of went all in on it, and so, it's just been a great thing in our lives. So really happy about it.
Now, the Zeerip family, obviously, Craig, you got Craig, the dad, and then we've got brother Brandon, correct?
Yep.
You guys all wrestled at U of M, and I think Colin also at Eastern. But recently, like before the season, I know that there had been kind of a special family moment or weekend where Justin, won a Coach of the Year award along with Craig. But then obviously I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Colin, who's every bit as important to the success of Whitehall wrestling as Justin. I think Justin would say the same thing, but both of you guys can answer this. How special is it just to get that kind of recognition? I know you guys probably aren't looking for it. That's not what drives you, but at the same time, how special is it to receive that?
You know, it's super special. You know, we've been really, really blessed and really fortunate to be able to coach, you know, these guys at Whitehall the last 3 years. You know, this is our 4th year now, and you know, I think the wrestlers here, they make us look good, and but yeah, you know, it's really special, and it was really cool to win that award with my dad. You know, just because it's just a big passion in our life, so it's really, you know, just a really special honor to be honored with that award. And you know, it takes a team. It's a team effort. You know, I know myself and Colin, but also, you know, Craig Christensen and Rick Champion and Dick Boyer and all those guys. It's just a big team effort. And so, you know, we might get some of the notoriety and everything like that, but it's definitely a team effort, and we couldn't do it with all the wrestlers either.
At a young age, Justin, Colin, at a young age, you learn how to compete from somebody who was very competitive and had a lot of type A personality, your father. My question now, as you grow up 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, how was the desire instilled upon you to win and to win the right way? You know, and what did winning mean? Was it emphasized at a young age, this is why you compete, this is why you want to win? You know, and did you like that? Did you accept it? And competition, you know, you guys got type A personalities, you know. Right. I mean, I don't care if it's ping pong, you know, you want to win. How did that grow within you when you started out? How did you accept that and learn, you know, to manifest that feeling and continue to grow?
Yeah, I think pretty much started out in everything we were doing. We were constantly competing, like you said, whether it was ping pong or just having 2 older siblings and a younger sister. Our parents definitely raised us the right way as far as, you know, if you win, if you lose, do it the right way. And no matter what, it didn't matter what it was, whether it's in schoolwork or trying to get the best GPA, they always kind of expected the best out of us. And eventually, I feel like every day you kind of expect the best out of yourself. And it's just kind of contagious, and it's kind of part of the culture, and that's kind of what we try to preach to the guys as well, is just bring your best effort and just compete every single day, win or lose, and that's all you can really be happy with yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah, before we're going to get to some of the wrestlers here on the show as well, but just a few more questions. Obviously, Justin, Colin had fantastic careers, both in high school and collegiately, and then if you look at Justin, for instance, if you look at the MHSA record books, it's just staggering. A career record of 260-0, 63-0, 64-0, 67-0, 66-0, all-time winningest wrestler in MHSA history. 203 career pins at Hesperia for an all-time MHSA record. Tied for 3rd most pins in a single season with 56 in the 06-07 season. Obviously, when you get up here, you'll see some of these records of these kids that they're putting up now. You'll see kind of that they're just kind of following in the footsteps of those coaches that are teaching them. But a lot of these kids obviously grew up with a wrestling background as well. But just wanted to kind of highlight those things. And I mean, you hear those numbers, Mike, and I mean, how much is that? How mind-blowing is that just to hear those numbers?
Well, obviously, you look in his freshman year, he had 63 wins. And his, junior and senior year, 67. Anybody can have a bad year, you know. You got over it, 63. We got it up to where it should be. Way to come through with clutch, Justin. Way to come through.
Thanks.
You know, as any good athlete will tell you, you know, for them to develop, grow, it's not just coaches. You know, people always would ask me, oh, you coached football for a living. You know, and I would always say, no, I coached people. You know, I taught football. And so when you look at it from that standpoint, the way you were taught wrestling, how has that affected you the way you teach wrestling?
Yeah, I think, you know, I was always taught, just like Colin kind of alluded to earlier, I've always taught just kind of give your best effort all the time, and if you do that, good things are going to happen. And just paying attention to little detail, and also just to not put too much pressure on yourself, and just kind of go out there and have fun. And just always do the best of your ability. And at the end of the day, you can be happy with yourself and be happy with your effort. And and the winning usually takes care of itself. But that's the biggest thing I'd say is just always doing your best, and win, lose or draw. I think you can always look yourself in the mirror and be happy with the results.
So before we shoo these guys away for a little bit, I want to ask a couple more questions specifically about this year's team.
Yeah.
Let's look at last night, for instance. Obviously, 2 more big wins. The first one over Montague, and then the second one over Oak Ridge. You're at Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge has a wrestling program for the first time in over 40 years. I'll direct this at Colin, give him a chance here. What was the atmosphere like inside that gymnasium? Just the sheer fact that they were so excited to be hosting a wrestling meet and their students are showing up. What was that like?
Yeah, I think overall, this year, kind of things getting back to normal as far as with people in the stands, and it was a great atmosphere. A typical WMC event competition. As one thing I wanted to mention personally is this senior class is special. They kind of exemplify a lot of the hard work, super competitive, and they certainly provide that great leadership for all the guys on the team, and the kind of the mindset going into every duel, especially with Oak Ridge or Montague, is to dominate. And I thought they certainly did that, and just kind of want to give that group a little recognition. But overall, there were some great matches individually, but kind of across the board, I thought it was a fairly good performance. But I still think we're peaking. Hopefully, with the best foot forward coming up here pretty soon.
And so 10-0 on the season overall, 4-0 in the league, and as stated at the opening of the show, you guys are number 5 in Division II. You got several wrestlers ranked in the all divisions rankings of their respective weight classes. I don't know if, Mike, if you think about, again, these numbers, and they just keep producing every year. They got to the finals for the first time last year, finished runner-up to just a dynamite Dundee team that was nationally ranked. Nothing to be ashamed of there. Again, you as a coach, you've been through these things as a football coach. I mean, how do you even go about building something like that sustains like Whitehall Wrestling has?
I tell you what, I'd turn it right back to the coaches here and say, I think a lot of it falls not only on what you guys bring to the table as teachers and coaches, but the administration that supports your program. People don't realize as a high school coach how important that is. Because if those administrators, if that school board, they don't back and support what you guys want to do, they can make it awful tough. They can make it awful tough for you to get to the promised land. So obviously we're seeing a good supportive community, administration, and board.
Yeah, absolutely. This year, our administration, this is our 4th year at Whitehall, and we've always felt tons of support. This year is really pretty special. We got a brand new wrestling room in the middle school. The high school is practice there, but it's 2 full-size wrestling mats, new mats, everything like that. And I would compare it to, pretty much most colleges in the country to their wrestling room. So, just feeling that support all the time, no matter what, academically or, athletically, we feel very blessed with all the support that we've gotten, like you said, from administration, school board, teachers, other coaches in different sports, the community in general. So we definitely couldn't do that without them. So, we're super thankful for them.
Well, and again, is this your first year actually teaching?
Yep.
How important is that for you as a head coach to now be not only the head coach, but a head coach in the district teaching?
Yeah, I think it's been great so far. It's really nice, just be a phone call away, to Mr. Beebe, the athletic director, or, talk to different kids in the district. You're always, a stone's throw away, which is really convenient, but also it's good just to kind of be around for the kids to see your face and for you just to, always be there in case you're needed.
All right, with that, we're going to go to a break. Thanks a lot, Justin and Colin, for coming on the stage and joining us here in the show. We're really happy to be able to highlight your program, and you guys certainly deserve it. So thanks for coming in, and we're going to take it away for a little bit of a break here.
Once I started rowing, I fell in love with the industry, the people of the industry, and just how craft beer brings people together. The community has really accepted us, and really we made this place to create our clubhouse pretty much, where we want to hang out and we have the beers we want to drink and the stuff we want to do. And we really hope that the community would just be of that same mindset and want to come here too and have fun, and they sure have.
Hello, this is Dmitry, the Russian hacker. Please disregard the following message from CatchMark Technologies. It will make my life easier. Thank you.
If you own a business today, that business is exposed to digital risk. Data privacy, compliance, and of course, cyber attack risks are just a few that you may need to manage. If you don't have the staff or internal expertise to help mitigate risks your organization faces, call CatchMark Technologies at 616-384-4616.
VanDyk Mortgage, we started 1987, July of 1987. The company was founded here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We recruited Mario in to join our company as one of our branches to serve the Muskegon community. He has grown to 5 locations, serving people up and down the lake shore.
A lot of companies, they're sometimes in it more for themselves and closing that deal for just their monetary reward. And I think with Mario and his company, it's not just that, and I don't know if that always happens in our world.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are back from our first break at the Power Hour at North Grove Brewers in Montague. Thanks again to our sponsor, VanDyk Mortgage, as long as our other co-sponsor with us, North Grove Brewers, in addition to Shepherd & Shepherd. Up here on the stage with me is co-host Mike Taylor, and we've got a couple Whitehall seniors. If you guys can introduce yourselves, what weight class you guys wrestle at?
Max Brown, 145.
Ira Jenkins, heavyweight.
Go ahead, take it away, Mike.
Let's talk about, fellas, to start with, tell us about your coaching staff that you guys are wrestling for. What are these guys, how is their approach to teaching wrestling? How do the kids like wrestling for them? And what's it like to wrestle with coaches with pedigrees like this?
The Zeerips for
Take your time, Max, because this is important.
All right, I'm on it. The Zeerips for sure bring a lot to the table, but not only is it like technique-wise, they also, I would say, shape us into becoming better men. They're not only focused on the wins and losses, they're focused on how we're doing as people. They really engage in our lives, and I'd say that's the biggest thing. They're always looking out for our best interests, and yeah, I think that's the biggest thing they bring as coaches. They got the technique down, they got the coaching down, but they're really looking out for us as human beings, and I think that's a big part of their coaching.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, they're there for us whenever we need anything. They took care of us really well. I mean, they both went through Michigan's program, so they both got a really good wealth of knowledge, and that's definitely, you can see it with our team. We've grown so much since they've come in, and yeah, they've just been really great.
Speaking of Michigan, Ira Jenkins is a signee with the University of Michigan. Defending state champion. Both of these guys are defending state champions. They got it done last year on an individual as well as the team aspect. What I want to kind of touch on, though, is when you guys first met, like when you guys first wrestled each other, what was that like? Can you share that story with us?
Talk up now, speak up.
I guess back in the day we used to go to Michigan Extreme, it was called, a little club, I forget where it was at, but
Yeah, over in Grand Rapids.
yeah. So we didn't really know each other at the time. We just kind of doing live goes. We ended up getting put together or something. Guess he did something I didn't really like, and then I ended up biting him on the stomach or something.
You thought he was a Happy Meal.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that's kind of where we met each other. But
An interesting first meeting.
What do you remember most about that, Max?
I was just kind of I was like, what is this guy doing? I've never wrestled him before. I don't know who he is.
Hey, Hannibal Lecter,
Yeah,
back off,
He's coming in. I'm like, Dad, what was that, man? And a few years down the road, you started getting closer and closer, and now it's just a good memory to look back on.
So good.
So on the season, you go ahead and take it. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off there, Mike.
I just, again, talk to us about how important discipline is when you start advancing in the state tournament. You know, how important and where does discipline come in? You know, what kind of a role does that play with you in your background?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like a lot of, especially like going through the state tournament and stuff, it's just a lot of it's just working up to that. So, I mean, it's not really so much in the moment. You're ready for that when you go in. You kind of have this mindset where you're just locked in, ready to go throughout the whole tournament. I guess, you know, all your preparation and stuff, you just think about that. And, like, you know, me and Max are guys, you know, we do the extra work and stuff. And, like, we know that going in. And we're just, you know, we're ready to go. We're locked in when it comes. And, yeah, it's just staying focused, doing what you got to do, you know, trusting your stuff.
I would say another big part of it is on the discipline aspect is just knowing getting your habits down before the tournament. I think that's just as important of how you wrestle, eating,
resting.
You find your sweet foods, what you like, what makes your body work when you go out to wrestle, cutting all that weight. And I think that's a big aspect of it too.
I have to ask this question because you're both state champions. The moment your championship bout is over, how does it feel to stand up off that mat, knowing you're a state champion at that point? What's the feeling? What's the feeling? Tell me.
I mean, I don't know. It's like kind of everything you've worked for, you know, all the, like, I mean, there's a lot of hard stuff, you know, you got to go through to get to that point. So, I mean, it all just kind of, you feel it all at once, and it's like, it's kind of like, all right, yeah, we did it, you know?
Are you proud?
Yeah, like, really, it's just
Happy?
really a proud moment, yeah.
And who do you think of your coach? Do you think of your teammates? Do you think of your parents?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You know, because they've been, you think of the people, you know, that have been there throughout the whole process with you, you know, the ones that have put time into you and invested into you and everything, and, you know, you're just really grateful for them, and just, yeah, grateful they're able to be there, part of that for you and, you know, help you get to that point. So
I mean, I would say just like looking back on that moment, I can't even tell you what my thought process was. I just remember standing up, throwing my hands up in the air. I mean, just looking into the crowd, and it's amazing. I'd say it's my best high school experience with athletics. And then just coming off, seeing your teammates, your family, everybody there for you.
Okay, and Ira and Max, how does that motivate you going into your senior year? You look at that and say, I've got to do that again.
yeah, I mean, I want to say it's more so like just doing it again. You know, like it's not really like, oh, I got to be a state champ again. It's just, you know, it's kind of just doing the same thing you've always done, you know, just staying in good mindset. You know, you think too far ahead sometimes, and I think it's better just, you know, just stay in the moment, just one thing at a time, you know, and just it kind of takes care of itself at that point. But yeah.
Yeah, I'd say focusing too much on it can really be a big drainer on you.
That pressure?
Yeah, for sure a real thing, especially going into your senior year, coming off that winning season. But I think once you get your emotions in check and you remember why you're really wrestling, to have fun, you're having a good memories with your teammates and why you do it, and you let go of that pressure, it's just a blast.
So these guys are winners, as is their teammates, as is their coaches. But that carries over to other sports. This has been well documented, but a lot of these guys play football as well. Obviously, Ira couldn't play football this year because of an injury suffered in the summer. But I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but did you know that we are sitting next to the Nordic Nightmare, or Drago, whatever you want to call him?
I was married to her for a while. It wasn't him.
I don't know. They got the reference.
Sorry about that.
I'm catching up on.
You knew her, huh?
That went, Mike. Sorry, that went way over their heads.
Didn't mind.
So, but seriously, you know, what was that like? How does it carry over? What are the things you can apply from wrestling over to football, and then vice versa, in the way of leverage, in the way of discipline, mental toughness? Either you guys or both of you guys could speak on that.
The biggest thing I took away from it is the mindset you get from wrestling, especially with football. You're out there, the games start to get hard, it gets physical. I mean, we're grinding like that every day in the wrestling room. I think wrestling just really gives you that extra mental advantage over your opponents, and especially being on such a high-level team, have such high-level partners and stuff, I think that just really makes you an outstanding football player and really brings up your game.
Yeah, I mean, like, I remember when I played last year, like, wrestling and stuff, it's like you already come into the season, like, you're in great shape and everything. And then as far as, like, the mental edge and everything, it's just, like, when things get tough, like, you're already, like, with wrestling, it's like when things get tough, you're just, like, you're even, like, more motivated to keep going. It's like you feel better when it gets hard. And I think, like, in those deep games and stuff in football and everything, it really comes out. And, yeah.
So, yeah, that's Ira Jenkins, 22-0 on the year at the 285-pound weight class. Max Brown, 15-3. Thanks for joining us on the stage tonight, guys. We're going to head to another break, but we're going to bring a couple more Whitehall wrestlers on after the break. Thanks a lot, guys.
And continue.
You're a business owner, you know that while necessary, technology can be confusing, complex, expensive, and a frustrating endeavor. CatchMark Technologies can help make that technology simple and clean so that your business can easily get its product or service to the market. Whether you need technical support, structured cabling, camera systems, cybersecurity, or digital media advice, CatchMark Technologies is your one-stop tech service shop. Shoot us a call at 616-384-4616, visit our website at catchmarkit.com, or stop into one of our offices in Grand Rapids or Whitehall. CatchMark Technologies, West Michigan's tech.
Once I started brewing, I fell in love with the industry, the people of the industry, and just how craft beer brings people together. The community has really accepted us, and really we made this place to create our clubhouse pretty much, where we want to hang out and we have the beers we want to drink and the stuff we want to do, and we really hope that the community would just be of that same mindset and want to come here too and have fun, and they sure have.
Hello, this is Dmitry, the Russian hacker. Please disregard the following message from CatchMark Technologies. It will make my life easier. Thank you.
If you own a business today, that business is exposed to digital risk. Data privacy, compliance, and of course, cyber attack risks are just a few that you may need to manage. If you don't have the staff or internal expertise to help mitigate the risks your organization faces, call CatchMark Technologies at 616-384-4616.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Scott DeCamp with CatchMark SportsNet. We are here at the Power Hour at North Grove Brewers, and we have to thank our title sponsors, VanDyk Mortgage and North Grove Brewers, along with Shepherd & Shepherd. I'm joined here by co-host Mike Taylor, the old coach, and the radio voice with the soothing tones.
Ba-ba-ba-boom.
We are joined on the stage right now by seniors Nick Blanchard and Alec Pruitt. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. If you could just tell the audience a little bit about yourself, what weight class you're in, and what your non-wrestling hobbies are.
You want to go first or me go first?
Go ahead, Alec.
I wrestle 152, and I play a lot of Madden.
What other sports you play?
I play football, too. A little bit. I play a little bit of football. Not anymore, but retired football player.
Yeah, my name's Nick Blanchard. I'm a 171-pound senior, and I also played football, retired. But, yeah, that's what I do.
We used to play.
Both of these young men are former Chippendale dancers, just so everybody knows. And, you can tell they're done with football. They're moving on.
Retired.
Again, they don't know what Chippendale dancers are, Mike.
You will. You will, fellas. Tell us, if you can, you two guys had great football careers at the high school. Tell us, each of you, how did football help you prepare for wrestling?
I think football, at least for one, it really helps because we've had a lot of close games. We had a pretty good program at Whitehall, and also it almost helps you with a kind of a recruiting process too. Getting guys, you find a guy who's good at football, he's probably gonna be good at wrestling, and it's vice versa. They play into each other, and also football. You got there, and we got a lot of guys on the wrestling team that are on the football team, and you just get closer with them. You get to spend a whole entire another season with them, going out there and dominating, and it's just a lot of fun.
I think it helps a lot with team bonding. Like, all the wrestlers play football, so I see them all year long. So we spend a lot of time with each other, me and Nick especially. But football helps. It makes you tough, just like wrestling does.
You guys have you guys have a good time. You enjoy your teammates. you appreciate good coaching, and you guys are very disciplined. Tell us, you look at that and say, well, what high school guys, you guys are always, when you're together, you're always laughing and kidding with each other. Now Ivor's sitting down here, having fun with you guys. How do you, tell us something, that is really a funny story about, the coaches at practice, or what sticks out in your mind. Go, I got to tell you what happened here. You got to have something good.
Jeez. Okay, let me think.
Give them an idea. If you got something back, you give them, come on, Max.
I mean, I think, well, of course, you can think about all the competitive handball games. It's a good thing that we warm up. We have to warm up with it every single day. But I guess if I can think of a personal memory, so the guy, one of our coaches, and he helps out with the time and cleans the mats. His name's Dick Boyer. He's been there in all 4 years. Our freshman year, Coach Boyer, sorry, he'd kill me if you saw that. But no, our freshman year, one of our first days walked in, I was 125 pounds my freshman year, and I was real skinny. And he used to call me Nick the Stick. And I never really understood why, and especially because now I wrestle 171, and he still calls me that to this day. And I've never really asked him why, because I'm kind of afraid of the answer.
Didn't they call you that on the football field too?
No, it's just him. No, not a single person on earth calls me that except for Dick Boyer.
Now football.
I thought that was a football term.
Right, exactly. That's
a linebacker. That's a
good term. And speaking of football again, you guys won the bell back. You got the conference title. I mean, just how satisfying was it to do that, to win a playoff game? All those things. I mean, what kind of memories you guys take away with you in that regard?
Football was a blast. Winning the bell back was probably like the biggest moment of my whole high school career. It was so much fun. Afterwards, we all hung out and we had a blast. The game was super intense, super high paced, and I'm really glad we came out on top. But the playoffs was really fun too. It's a fun concept to win and then get another week of practice in your senior year. But we had a lot of fun. It was great. Football was so much fun.
I think it's really special, like the kind of things that, like, especially like our group have been able to do. Like, you see us, we went to the finals for the first time ever in school history last year for wrestling, and then this year we got the bell back for the first time in I think 6 or 7 years. And like, that's the guys that like we've grown up with, and we've been here since middle school, and some people even other than me have been here even longer. So it's really cool that like the guys that you've been with for all these years to like do those kind of things with.
Okay, I'm going to ask them a couple questions right here, and so you can find out something about these two gentlemen. Raise your hand, okay? You guys point at each other here, okay? I want to know which one of you two is a better singer.
I'm not singing though.
Which one is a better dancer? Which one is a better student?
It's okay. Yeah, I guess it's up for debate.
I like that. Which one's a better driver?
Yeah, he can drive a manual.
It's probably me. It's probably me.
What I'm starting to wonder, what is Nick good at?
Hey, I was the singer.
Nick gets good grades.
Nick will be singing the national anthem at this year's regionals. Yes.
On a more serious note, although pretty cool, last year, I mean, you guys are teammates, you wrestle, you see each other all the time, even in practice. I'm sure your practices are tougher than a lot of the matches that you have. And in particular with you guys battled all year long, and then, by the way, they squared off in the state semifinals, teammates. They both ended up all state, but if you guys could each share what that experience was like as teammates squaring off at the individual state finals and the semifinals.
You want me to go?
You can go.
I'll go first. I mean, I think it was really cool. We came in, we both were wearing the same singlets, which kind of makes it hard.
Wait, you were in the same singlet?
Yeah, we were in the same.
Oh, you had your own.
We were in the same. Okay, don't make this that. But yeah, we were in our different singlets that looked alike. But yeah, no, I can't stand this guy. So I prepared for weeks, and it was a lot of fun. It's good knowing when you go and wrestling your teammate and, one of your best friends.
Did you talk to each other before the match?
We actually did the entire time.
Did
we were just standing right next to each other.
You guys like choreograph going, look, you get me in a headlock, and then,
I think maybe if it was a different kind of match, but state semis, we actually decided to take it a little bit more serious. He was coming for me. But it's cool knowing that either me or him was going to go to the state finals. So that was a really cool kind of match, and, I was glad to share with a teammate.
What are your thoughts, Alec?
It was really fun. I wasn't even really supposed to be there. I wrestled the C team. I mean, I wasn't even a B team kid. I mean, I was a C team kid. And then I found myself in the state semis, and it was fun. I mean, I was wrestling Nick. I get to wrestle him every day, so it just felt like another match. But I think I could have beat him. Honestly, I let him win in the third. I had a deep high crotch. I could have finished it. I didn't.
A team player all the way. Way to go.
He's been wrestling a lot longer than me, so I
sniffles.
let him have it.
So you guys,
I appreciate that.
Nick, you ended up runner-up, correct?
Yeah.
And then, Alec, where'd you finish?
I did the semi-slide all the way down to 6th.
All right. Well, you know, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's still pretty damn good.
It is. It is.
You know, in terms of this year, we got Nick at 19-2, and we got Alec at 17-4. Just describe what the season's been like. You know, maybe getting back to a little more normalcy with more crowds there, and just the whole dynamic of, you know, how special your senior year is to begin with. But what's it been like for you guys, you know, carrying it on into wrestling season?
I think this year in particular, it's really fun knowing that, you know, we're going in here, we're having one last ride with the guys that we've been here for 4 years. Most of the guys that are here, we've all been on varsity for 4 years and we've been able to dominate and have a lot of fun. This year in particular, we're coming in and we're kind of doing the same thing, and it's really nice to see, and I wouldn't rather do it with any other guys.
Great way to put it.
I'm having a blast this year. It's been a lot of fun, wrestle with my best friends. So I don't know, there's not much else I'd rather do in the wintertime. So.
All right. Well, our producer Billy had to step away. I think he had to go get some food or something.
Here he is.
He's coming back to his table now. He's
He's
dealing with some business right now. So, but
Business
we're
call.
gonna go to a little.
Billy's getting off the
break.
phone with his bookie right now to handle his business here.
So we're gonna go to. By the way, Dolphins are done, right? Miami Dolphins. You're not betting on the Dolphins, are you? No. Okay.
And speaking of that, which one is what are your favorite NFL teams?
I like the Steelers.
I'm a Lions guy. I'm a hometown guy.
There we go. And your Steelers backed in.
Yeah, they somehow slipped into the playoffs. Who knows? But
Nice. Again, last question I have. This year's wrestling team. Can you guys win the state as a team?
First want me to go first. Oh, no, I think that every team's goal in the beginning of the year should be win state. And that's no different this year than it will be any other year.
All right, great. Thanks a lot, guys. You guys are a lot of fun. You continued on the tradition of your predecessors here with Ira and Max. Thanks a lot for being on the stage and coming on the show with us, guys. We're going to head to another break.
Thanks
Give them a round of applause, folks.
Since I started brewing, I fell in love with the industry, the people of the industry, and just how craft beer brings people together. The community has really accepted us, and really we made this place to create our clubhouse pretty much, where we want to hang out and we have the beers we want to drink and the stuff we want to do, and we really hope that the community would just be of that same mindset and want to come here too and have fun, and they sure have.
Hello, this is Dmitry, the Russian hacker. Please disregard the following message from CatchMark Technologies. It will make my life easier. Thank you.
If you own a business today, that business is exposed to digital risk. Data privacy, compliance, and of course, cyber attack risks are just a few that you may need to manage. If you don't have the staff or internal expertise to help mitigate the risks your organization faces, call CatchMark Technologies at 616-384-4616.
VanDyk Mortgage, we started 1987, July of 1987. The company was founded here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We recruited Mario in to join our company as one of our branches to serve the Muskegon community. He has grown to 5 locations, serving people up and down the lake shore.
A lot of companies, they're sometimes in it more for themselves and closing that deal for just their monetary reward. And I think with Mario and his company, it's not just that, and I don't know if that always happens in our world.
Welcome back, everyone. Scott DeCamp with CatchMark SportsNet. We're here at North Grove Brewers with VanDyk Mortgage Power Hour. I'm here with Mike Taylor, and we have 2 more Whitehall Viking wrestlers on the stage. If you guys can introduce yourselves and tell us what weight class you wrestle
tell us
at.
what weight class, what year you are.
All right, my name is Riley Buys. I'm a senior at 130.
I'm Dylan Osborne. I wrestle 112 pounds as a senior.
I'm going to start out with Riley. If you think back to the state semifinals last year, the team semifinals, the match really came down to you. What was it like being the guy to kind of decide it? I mean, all the weight's on your shoulders. What is that pressure like? What is that euphoria like once you get that victory?
I mean, it was really nerve-wracking, but I mean, it was also really exciting because like I got my whole team out there just rooting for me, and I knew I could beat the kid, and then ended up beating him, and then the whole gym went crazy, all the Whitehall people, and it was awesome.
Do you guys, either one of you, do you have a superstition? I mean, before you wrestle that day, I wear this, I eat this. Do you have a superstition?
No, not really. I mean, I just kind of eat whatever because I'm not really cutting this year. But like my last 3 years, I mean, I just kind of do me. I'm a video gamer, so I do play video games.
Do you have one?
Not really. I mean, I just like to make sure like that I get in the zone, like in my own little world right before I wrestle. Like, don't let anybody distract me and just go out there and do what I want or what I need to do to win. So,
have you had any injuries this year? Either one of you, any nickel and dime? Tell us about that. How you've stayed health-wise.
Well, this year in cross country, towards the end of the beginning of this year, it was the end of track season last year. I ended up having my feet started to hurt, and then I went to the doctor, and I ended up having plantar fasciitis in both my feet, and it just kind of like messed up my feet, my hips, and my knees, and I'm just slowly recovering from that. So, feeling a lot better now.
Wow.
Before we actually started competing against other teams, I rolled my ankle in practice, and I heard a pop, and I thought for sure I broke it. And I thought most of my senior year was going to be pretty much wasted. And luckily I just sprained it, and I only missed one meet, which I was pretty grateful for that.
And finally, guys, each of you, what does it mean to be part of this program and to contribute in such a big way?
Well, for us, me and him have been best friends since I don't even remember. Like, it's been a while. We used to do everything together, and so we just grew up together, and then we met a couple of those guys sitting over there, and we just became like one big family. I mean, we go and hang out, all of us together, and just have a great time. It's a lot of fun to be on this Whitehall wrestling team.
Yeah, I've been wrestling with Riley since, I don't know, like 7th grade. We used to wrestle my way all the time together. We used to go to all these tournaments. And then I started wrestling with Max and them in about 6th, 7th grade. So I've been with them a long time. So it's.
You guys put your heads together on this. Out of all the guys right here wrestling, your teammates, which one of these gentlemen will be the first one to get married?
You thinking AP?
Yeah, Alec or Max.
I'm thinking Alec Pruitt.
Yeah, Max.
Well, that takes us to our next question. Who will be the first divorce then?
I don't know. What are you thinking, Nick? You think it might be you or Braden?
And which athlete is most likely to end up in Alaska as a veterinarian?
That'd be my boy Ira.
There we go.
Didn't even have to think about that one.
Well, on that note about the marriage and divorce thing, I think it's a good time to mention Shepherd and Shepherd Law. If anyone ever needs those services,
Thank you.
Those boys over there can help you. But thanks a lot, guys, for joining us.
And their motto is, "We ain't afraid of no case."
Thanks a lot for joining us, guys, and continue.
Let's hear it for them.
Continue success, guys. We're going to go to another break.
That's a great line.
VanDyk Mortgage, we started 1987, July of 1987. The company was founded here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We recruited Mario in to join our company as one of our branches to serve the Muskegon community. He has grown to 5 locations, serving people up and down the lake shore.
A lot of companies, they're sometimes in it more for themselves and closing that deal for just their monetary reward. And I think with Mario and his company, it's not just that, and I don't know if that always happens in our world.
Hello, this is Dmitry, the Russian hacker. Please disregard the following message from CatchMark Technologies. It will make my life easier. Thank you.
If you own a business today, that business is exposed to digital risk. Data privacy, compliance, and of course, cyber attack risks are just a few that you may need to manage. If you don't have the staff or internal expertise to help mitigate risks your organization faces, call CatchMark Technologies at 616-384-4616.
Welcome back, everyone. Scott DeCamp, CatchMark Sports. I'm joined by Mike Taylor here at the Power Hour at North Grove Brewers, sponsored by VanDyk Mortgage along with North Grove Brewers. And if you heard me in the previous segment, also Shepherd and Shepherd. So, Mike, we have our next two wrestlers from Whitehall. If you can help us introduce them and ask these young men about what they do.
Gentlemen, please go forward. Start with you and name, weight, year. Go right through it. Current record.
My name is Shane Cook. I wrestle 215 pounds. I'm a junior. I'm not really sure of my record. I have one loss, though. Yeah.
20-1.
21.
There we go.
My name is Brandon Van Patten. I wrestle 189. I'm a senior, and I believe my record is 13-1.
I'm speechless. What else do you say after those records? I mean, how do you... I mean, if you look at all these kids you got here that have been on the show and you look at their records and everything they accomplished, I mean, just imagine what the other team feels like lining up against that.
You know, tell us what it feels like to be part of a program that is so organized, so successful, and how the youth and the feeder programs, are they really getting the young kids now out, and what that means to the varsity's future?
Yeah, the coaches do a really good job of building up the youth from the ground up. Like just today, we had a bunch of the middle school wrestlers in with us today, and they were working, they were watching us, and they were, seeing what it was kind of like to be part of a varsity practice. And it's really a really good program. You know, we really push each other in the practice room. I think that's what makes us so good, is because every day we're in there working as hard as we can, pushing each other to, be like the best we can be, and I think that is one of the biggest things.
Yeah, I think the My Way program. I mean, one time after practice, I stayed after, and there's a lot of kids in there. They're working hard, and then in our room, we got a tough room. We got a lot of tough wrestlers. So really, we just iron sharpens iron. You know, my freshman year, I was wrestling Caleb Venema and Ira Jenkins, and ever since then, I've just been wrestling Ira. So, iron sharpens iron. Everybody works hard. Everybody gets better.
Yep. How about health-wise? You guys pretty healthy right now?
Yeah.
For the most part?
Yep.
Okay. When we look back at some things right here, tell us how you got started in wrestling. Go ahead, Brandon.
I started, I believe, my 5th grade year. I started doing the My Way program. Started practicing My Way pretty young. Started going to tournaments, and then from there I went to transfer over to middle school, 7th and 8th grade, and then now I'm here in high school, and I'm in, had a pretty successful career so far.
I started when I was about 4 or 5. My mom's boyfriend at the time really got me into it, and then it was just took me instantly. I was in love with the sport, and ever since then I've been in love with it. I've been working hard, trying to get better every day. Yeah.
Before we end this show, we certainly have to give a shout out to another important coach here, Craig Christensen. He's sitting right here in the front row. Let's have an applause for him as well, everybody. Yep, and thanks for our guest here on the show tonight. But before we wrap this up, too, I got to ask these guys up here, pound for pound, who's the toughest wrestler on your team?
Ira Jenkins.
Ira Jenkins. I mean, I might be a little biased because I wrestle with him every day. He's always beating me up, so I might be a little biased, but Ira Jenkins.
That's great. Who does on your team the best impersonation of Coach Zeerip?
Not either of us.
No,
you could ask my mom.
To be
That's
honest,
funny.
I don't know
That's
if
funny.
any of us do. Cause
That's funny you bring that up, Mike, because
No.
we had at a media day we did these player profiles, and to a man, nobody was willing and daring enough to do that.
That's great. That's discipline right there. That's discipline. That's discipline.
Well, thanks a lot. You guys did a great job, just like your teammates. That's going to wrap it up for this show of the Power Hour here at North Grove Brewers, sponsored by VanDyk Mortgage, along with North Grove Brewers and Shepherd & Shepherd. And Mike Taylor, my co-host, and everybody else here, thanks a lot. Have a good evening.
So once I started brewing, I fell in love with the industry, the people of the industry, and just how craft beer brings people together. The community has really accepted us, and really we made this place to create our clubhouse pretty much, where we want to hang out and we have the beers we want to drink and the stuff we want to do, and we really hope that the community would just be of that same mindset and want to come here too and have fun, and they sure